Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's Crypto Blast. It is Monday, the 30th of June. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. June is over. Welcome, July. Q2 is in the bag. H1 is in the bag. It's all about Q3 and H2 now. No one cares what your past performance is as long as you crush it in the next one. You're with myself, Ryan Paisley, and Cam from Institutional Fire, where Cam will be giving us a rapid fire update of the latest pricing flows, news, etc., in crypto markets. I guess I better get the Eagles out of the way. Nothing discussed on this space. This session constitute trading or investment advice or infers any kind of endorsement by PIQ. Myself, Ryan Paisley, Cam, and of course his baby, Institutional Fi. Which, if you don't already, do give it a follow on Substack. Do follow Cam. He's starting to put together a great operation, focusing on kind of the more mature aspects of crypto rather than your degen fart coins. Although fart coin does get a mention. Anyway, enough about me. Well, enough of me waffling, should I say? Cam, what's going on?
Good morning, good morning. Yeah, no, it's institutional with the focus of Fartcoin, which yeah.
It's all about it's basically every show is about what treasury accounts are putting Fartcoin in their in their safe.
Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully that world never comes to that point, but I
Oh God.
fear we're on the track to do so. Has it happened last week? Well, stay tuned to this
Yeah,
crypto
no,
blast and
exactly.
we'll cover it. Yeah, thank you very much. How are you doing? You all right?
I'm good, mate. I'm melting, but yeah, apart from that, I'm all right.
I know. Well, it's one of those things where we go, I'm melting. I have to say I'm enjoying it because I moan when it's cold.
Well, I know I don't mind. I'll have a moan, and but we can't always sit in poolside like yourself. So yeah, quickly moving on before I throw a pint at you.
Yeah, yeah, I am sat in swimming trunks. So
Oh
we'll
God.
move on quickly. So right, let's get into the crypto market update, and then we'll move on to the news that's happened over last week and today, because actually there's been quite a lot of news that's hit the streams this morning. So Bitcoin started the week today with a strong rally, coming within just $200 of last week's high at $109,000. BTC is currently trading now 1% below today at today's peak, now trading at $107,662. The broader crypto market saw a notable rebound with total market cap up around 9.87% last week, um, ending a month-long drawdown of around 15%. While the market still has ground to recover from May's highs, last week's $300 billion of inflows helped offset the previous outflows. A 13% move up from here. These are the current levels, would set a new all-time high in the crypto market cap. That is the total crypto market that we're talking about. So just 13% move up. Not too far away, considering that we moved 9.8% last week. Ethereum is approaching a bullish signal that we covered on Friday as it nears a crossover from the 50-day to the 200-day moving averages. If ETH breaks around $2,500 today, this crossover could occur. Currently, Ethereum trades just below the 50-day average at $2,472. If we look at the two big ETFs, that is the Bitcoin and the Ethereum spot ETF products, Bitcoin ETFs saw net weekly inflows of $2.2 billion from the days from the 23rd to the 27th, marking 3 consecutive weeks of inflows. Spot Ethereum ETFs recorded around $283 million in net inflows, extending their streak to 7 weeks of inflows. And so obviously not every single day saw net inflows, but we're talking on a
On a
weekly
week on week,
basis.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
exactly it. Seven. That's
If in
impressive.
doubt, also, yeah, the thing is, well, I'm a big fan of saying, if I know it's a cliche, but if in doubt, zoom out. And I think when we're talking about flows and stuff like that, it's, you can get a bit too noisy with the data. So zooming out a little bit, for instance, if we relate this back to TradFi, we got every Thursday we get the IJC, the initial jobless claims data. For the 20 odd years I've been involved in markets, I've always been a big believer in looking at the 4 week average rather than the individual weekly prints, because
Mm.
it will give you just that better guide and that better kind of it will enable you to get a better idea of the theme that's in the market. And I think that's the same with flows as well. And I think, you know Otherwise, you could do every 6 hours if you wanted to. You could get crazy with. But I think weekly flows. I think that's where we should be looking.
But what's the 1 minute chart saying? Come on.
Oh, don't. Well, let's get back on the tick charts for altcoins. Yeah, great.
So moving down the market cap list, Solana is trading at $150, XRP at $2.18, BNB $654. Some of the weekly highlights: Spanish coffee chain Vivadi Coffee will invest nearly $1.17 billion in Bitcoin after securing shareholder approval. How they've quite managed this, I have absolutely no idea, considering their market cap size. Yeah, we'll dig into this story as more comes out of it. But yeah, they have secured a $1.1 billion investment into buying Bitcoin. Yeah, honestly, that this story really puzzles me. But we're going to move on. Swedish public company H100 Group raised $7.8 million to buy additional Bitcoin. French public company, the Blockchain Group, added 60 BTC to its treasury, bringing its total holdings up to 1,788 BTC. Interestingly, Hyperliquid recorded $1.5 trillion in perpetual futures trading volume over the last 12 months, generating around $56 million in revenue this month and $310 million cumulatively. June's trading volume reached $208 billion, surpassing all other on-chain perpetual future platforms combined. Yeah, some staggering work coming out from Hyperliquid
I
with
gotta
the ticker
say,
hype.
yeah.
Yeah.
Funny enough, well, I see our friend Tom is on the call. I was out with Tom yesterday, and even he raised Hyperliquid. That came up in conversation. Seems like Hyperliquid well, I say out of nowhere for me. Obviously, my head's buried in TradFi and news, but as in non-crypto news. But yeah, from an outsider's point of view, from a tourist's point of view, Hyperliquid is like a name that just seems to be everywhere at the moment.
I must be becoming a less of a degen and more because I've still yet to dabble on the futures exchange. So maybe that needs to change just so I can
Mate,
kind of
you've
get my head
changed,
around
man.
it.
You've
I've
changed.
changed. I know. Oh.
You've changed.
I can feel like all the degenerate followers who just leaving the account as we speak.
Yeah, right.
Metaplanet purchased 1,005 BTC at an average price of $107,900, totaling $108 million last week. The firm now holds over 13,300 BTC. Upcoming token unlocks, these are kind of, why would you pay attention to them? Well, if you hold the token for the short term, it could introduce some sell pressure with the fresh supply being introduced. Sui has 44 million tokens being unlocked this week. ENA has 212 million tokens being unlocked. OP sees 31.3 million tokens unlocked, so rather large token unlocks taking place this week within, I would say, they're top 25 tokens, aren't they? So they're probably names that people are familiar with. Sui, ENA, and OP. If you are a holder of those, that's probably something you should take note of. Network and product updates. BNB Chain is implementing the Maxwell upgrade today, reducing block times in half from 1.5 seconds to 0.75 seconds, enhancing speed and network responsiveness. Stablecoin protocol Resupply proposes burning 6 million tokens following their $10 million exploit that they suffered last week. I believe we covered that on Friday. Covering the traditional finance and broader markets, Coinbase, with the ticker COIN, is the best performing stock in the S&P 500 this month, up over 40%. Whether they can hold on to their gains today, well, let's take a closer look on that one. I believe the reason why Coinbase is up so much was due to Circle's performance at the CRCL, especially with the arb opportunity that was in place, given that 50% of the revenue from Circle goes toward Coinbase, another 10% goes toward BlackRock. So Coin seeing a major benefit from Circle's IPO, which absolutely went ballistic.
Yeah, exactly. Although I gotta say, I'm gonna pat myself on the back because I rarely get anything right these days. I can barely pick my nose, let alone a winning trade. I did suggest on the Monday morning when we spoke that I could just get the vibe that circles are far too extended at the moment. It feels like it's just like that IPO bubble, and I believe Monday was the high. Um,
Mm.
So look, don't get me wrong. I didn't have a bean on it, but I'm gonna still claim the win. Check the tapes and go back through if you don't believe me. But I was saying,
Yeah.
hang on a second, this doesn't feel right.
Called it. You called it. Oh,
It's just
yeah,
a, it's
yeah.
just a shame. It's just a shame I did fuck all with the insight. The one that
Do as
got
I say,
away.
not as I do. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly that, exactly that. I
Um,
tell you what though, I can guarantee if I did short it with actual real money, it would have flown higher. So yeah, I did it
well,
all for you.
let me know when you take a bet. Let me know.
Yeah,
I'll do the
exactly.
opposite.
Yeah, exactly that. Thanks.
You're more than welcome. No, thank you.
Yeah, you
South
see,
Korean.
sorry. You know that offer of a pint that I'd said on for this upcoming Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That's been withdrawn.
Oh no,
Thanks.
it's been rescinded. Ah, crap. Right, moving on
Right,
quickly.
moving on.
I'll
Moving
try to
on.
regain a pint. Um, South Korean president's support for the one peg stablecoin policies has driven a market rally in South Korea. So related stocks like the I'm not going to butcher these names. I even practiced some of these, but the practicing's completely gone out of my head. The Kayaku, Pay, LGCNS, Aton, and the ME2ON surged last week, with the Kospi index up nearly 30% year to date, reaching for a 4-year high. And this is all to do with South Korea putting in pro stablecoin policies and introducing those pegged one stable coins that we read several tickers out last week. So regulatory and legal developments. Ethereum's Vitalik Buterin warns that Sam Altman's backed digital ID project World may threaten online pseudonymity, citing concerns over its one ID per person model. It's some interesting, I suppose, with the world of living off chain and being decentralized. Vitalik is just arguing, well, this is actually very centralized and it encourages more threat actors to easily gain access to your information, and that
Yeah,
there would be a better way of taking this information and put it into the decentralized world instead of a centralized framework. So no surprise that he's coming out with those statements. Rex Shares plans to launch the first US staking crypto ETF, the Rex Osprey Sol plus staking ETF, tracking Solana's performance and earning staking yield. The SEC has no further comments on the filing. So they're essentially posting that this thing's coming to market anytime soon now. And that was after the SEC kind of was like, hold on a minute, there's a couple of infringements that could mean you have to go through the full ETF process instead of the quick pretty much 4-week turnaround. Bolivia's central bank reported that crypto payment transactions reached $430 million in 12 months after lifting the crypto ban in 2024, a 630% year-on-year increase. 86% of transactions were completed by individuals, mostly via Binance. The government has approved using cryptocurrencies for fuel imports. Gemini partnered with Denarii to launch tokenized stock trading in the EU, starting with MicroStrategy, ticker MSTR, with plans to expand to more stocks and ETFs. So there we go. You were right on the money to asking this question regarding, can you tokenize stocks and are there exchanges that are trading them? And then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks later,
there you go.
every single exchange is trying to get a hold of this tokenization model.
There you go. See, not just a pretty face.
Not just a pretty face who likes to do air quotations when no one can see him. Although,
No, I'm slowly getting used to the fact that Spaces hasn't got actually video on it. I'm sorry.
was it the Ninja trading?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I
Yeah,
did my webinar with Ninja Trader, where I actually had a
yeah.
camera on me, and for once I was actually allowed to. People were allowed to see me do my famous air quotes.
I know. I saw it. I was like, "Hey, I can see
He's been waiting 5 years for this moment.
you." It was slow motion air quotes as well, just taking in the moment.
Oh yeah, yeah. Really milked the shit out of it.
Yeah, 100%. Um, And I'm sure Ryan can post a link to that webinar somewhere
Yeah.
around this so you can find it to watch him. Following the CME Group's recent launch of their XRP futures, Robinhood launched micro futures contracts for XRP and Solana, plus a micro version of its Bitcoin Friday futures, expanding its crypto derivatives offerings. Strategy faces at least 5 class action lawsuits alleging securities fraud over $6 billion in unrealized BTC losses. They're accused of misleading investors about Bitcoin risks and profitability. We did cover this story just a few weeks back, but there wasn't as many as 5 class action lawsuits against them. So it does look like there are a few more people chasing this tailwind. Bitcoin Treasury Corporation, which is the BTCT, raised 125 Canadian dollars. What are those? And acquired 292 BTC for its treasury strategy. The firm will begin trading on the TSX Venture Exchange today. So there we go. I believe that is your lot for today. Yeah, a few
Wonderful.
token unlocks to keep in mind if you do have any of those altcoins. If you do, just stay tuned. But if you're holding for the long run, it's going to be pretty much a non-event over the long term.
Gotcha. Well, Cam, thank you so much for that. I think the next time we see you or hear from you is on Wednesday. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, perfect.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Cam, thank you so much as always for giving us the lowdown on crypto. Listeners, thank you as always for tuning in. Whatever you're doing today, keep it tight. It's the last day of the month. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Yeah, much love. Take care. We'll see you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.